So how do we solve the world's problems? Just make everybody smaller. Sure, I buy it. And with that, I'm welcome you to another episode of The Road Mentor. My goal, as always, is to enhance your movie watching experience. So, Downsizing, the newest movie by Alexander Payne, starring Matt Damon, Kristen Wiig, Christoph Waltz, very good cast. It's a fascinating premise about this world takes somewhere in the future, I guess, and scientists have discovered a way to shrink down humans to about yay high in order to combat the overgrowth in population around the world. Obviously, help us extend some of the natural resources that we have because we are smaller. And we have here Matt Damon, who is married to Kristen Wiig, and he's kind of going through some issues, just a little bit of a rut in his life, living in a kind of cheap apartment. He can't really afford a nicer house. He's struggling financially, him and his wife. So obviously, there's an opportunity presents itself where they get a chance to be part of this downsizing new culture, society that's come about all over the world. And he decides to take it. He feels it's going to be a fresh start. You know, they shrink us down to size, put us in this beautiful community. Obviously, it's luxurious. And remember, and with shrinking down the size, your money obviously grows exponentially. You know, what normally costs a house millions of dollars will cost you around $60,000 only. So there's a great opportunity for him to start over. As if he feels a little bit lost in where he's at, he wants to obviously improve his life. And just the idea of downsizing is fascinating. A lot of interesting theories that could really explore in this movie, and this is where I kind of felt it was such a huge letdown. I was really disappointed by the movie itself. This movie isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but this movie has so much potential and it's just wasted because all these scenarios present itself and they just glossed right over them. It's almost as if the director just got bored of the idea of downsizing to begin with and focus on something else. There's this idea of why it's important for us to create these little communities to downsize, and how other people are so against it, and the consequences of doing so, and the burden it puts on everyone else in the world, all the other population. And there's a lot of such great, interesting theories in there. Even within the world itself, you have the haves and have-nots, but they don't explain how the have-nots are there. This is supposedly a $15,000 procedure. Why the poor people in this kind of communities if they can't afford to begin with? So there's something else going on there which they don't even touch on. It just goes completely unexplored. And this movie just really becomes a story about Matt Damon. And unfortunately, Kristen Wiig, his wife, decides to back out the last second, so he's forced to go into this world by himself. There's an irreversible procedure, so now he's stuck in a certain size in this community. And he can't live as luxurious because of the divorce. He loses half the assets. So he's basically living the same way he was living, as he was a normal sized human. So it's the only difference is he's in a different sized community. And it's almost like it's a story about midlife crisis, exploring his, obviously the humanity that he's experiencing. He feels he can just get away and his problems are going to stay where they're at. But they follow with him. He's finding his place in the world. And he meets some interesting people. Waltz's character is really good, and particularly is this Vietnamese woman that he meets. Obviously he has the love interest with. She's a great character. She's funny, spunky, has a lot of spark, and she kind of helps him find his way. But this is really what the movie's about. The whole issue and premise of downsizing, as interesting as it is completely wasted because this could have been any movie about some guy going through a midlife crisis and finding himself. And this is what it is. You didn't need this whole backdrop with the downsizing at all. It was completely unnecessary. But nothing's really explored in this movie other than Matt Damon's position and his station in life, and him trying to kind of find his way, find his happiness back inside him, if you will. And which is, again, it's funny at times, but unfortunately the movie kind of drags a little bit. It's very slow. It's because it's not as engaging. Matt Damon's character isn't as interesting to begin with, and you're fooled by thinking this movie is going to touch a lot, get very heavy, and explore these issues that are out there because of downsizing and what I guess these issues that it presents itself to the rest of the world. But it doesn't. It completely fails. It downsizes the real issues about that this movie should have been focused on, and just gave us a basic story about a guy who's finding himself. And again, it's fine. It's okay. It's not a movie I can really recommend. Like I said, it's not a terrible movie. You can watch it for free down the road, sure. But honestly, I can't recommend you guys to go watch it. It's just going with the right expectations, seeing a nice story about a guy who's going through, his midlife crisis, and he finds himself. That's basically what we're going on here. And everything else is kind of cast aside. Once the novelty wears out, even the director, I don't think he even knew where he wanted to go with this movie. That he really wanted to explore that deeply. He just want to tell a story and get you in the theaters under the false intentions that, hey, look at us, we create a small world, how cool is this? And it just doesn't work at all, unfortunately, and not at that level. So, if you guys are going to go watch it, Downsizing, let me know what you guys thought. Comment below as always. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed my need to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.